Today is going to be a random day. So in this park there's just these like statues, like women, looks like they're sat on top of an Indian teepee or something. They're like over 10 feet tall. Look at that. I think your favourite's going to be the black one because she's the most sinister one. So why is that one your favourite?
I like the story behind it. She has discovered that she was cheated and she had to kill her husband. That's why her heart is pierced. And she was a Catholic as well.
Okay. Now, I can't verify that story, and I don't even know if what she's saying is even remotely true. It could be. You never know with Ola. Born in 1817, we have on top of this big statue here, János Rani. Apparently he's considered to be the Shakespeare of ballads. Built in 1897, the Great Market Hall of Budapest is a centralised location for people to go for groceries, shopping. It's got an array of different food, restaurant areas where you can go grab a bite to eat. So we're going to go and take a look. Hungary is actually very famous for paprika. And Hungarian paprika is one of the most famous in the world, I suppose. Just going upstairs now to get some food because we've not eaten all day and we're starving. And looking at all this food here is actually making me even more hungry. Hungarian wines. Top kind. They've got an alcoholic drink over here called Unicum. Say no more. A little child with a moustache on his face. Do not sit here next to the Unicum. No sitting next to the Unicum in the Great Market of Budapest. For all those people who've eaten goulash, this is the real goulash. Oh, sorry. So we've come here at 12:45, probably the worst time to come to a big food hall and a big market hall, because everyone's coming out to get their lunch probably around this time. Don't know if you know, but the Rubik's Cube is native to Hungary. This hall is enormous, it stretches all the way over there. All the stores selling ornaments, cups, t-shirts, hats, fridge magnets. So what are we thinking for food?
I don't know, like some
She's getting pissed off now. You can see the queues are very big here. Get some stuffed cabbage plate, a couscous plate, bacon and cheese, street plate, and a brochette. What do you fancy? One thing to bear in mind when you come here for food, there's a good chance you will have to stand, particularly if you come at lunchtime, so the seats are taken. Hungarian street food. Soup. Goulash. The real goulash. There's another restaurant here as well called Fisherman. Should we go to Fisherman? Gormanator. We could have a look in there, what do you think? Może idziemy na zewnątrz, tak? Getting a few Hungarians just staring right at me. Wondering why I've got a camera pointing at me. So that was a failed mission to get food in the Great Hall of Budapest. Just as a word of warning, if you come to the market hall, no bikes, no scooters, no cigarettes again, and no wolves. No wolves allowed in the Great Market Hall of Budapest. So the mission now really is to find somewhere to eat because we're so hungry. So we found somewhere called Fairytale restaurant or Fatal restaurant. I hope it's not fatal. I think this is a local Hungarian joint. Got soups. But it's got cold strawberry soup, which sounds absolutely effing horrible. Cheers. So I've just had lunch at the Fatal restaurant. It was anything but fatal. The food was really, really good. I had the beef goulash soup and she had the cabbage rolls. She said it was really nice as well. Maybe a little bit too salty, but definitely I would highly recommend it. Good, reasonable price as well. Good, friendly service. Very freshly cooked food. So in the Fisherman's Bastion, there's like a slightly different vibe around here. A little bit more quaint, a bit smaller, the architecture, kind of lower buildings. But this enormous building here, beautiful. Thank you. So you can actually pay to do like a tour, or you can walk up around there and go up on the top. We're not going to pay. I think we're just going to have a little walk around and see what's going on. So just through here, there's like a cafe, which is right on the edge. And as you can see, the view behind it. Inspired by medieval architecture, this building, this terrace here, was built at the end of the 19th century, early 20th century, to provide a viewing platform for the people of Budapest. It's designed to look like a fairy tale. As you can see, got all the pillars over here, all around there. You can see the Parliament building just in the distance right over there. This really is one of those places that you do have to visit, you have to come here in person. The best camera that we all have, well, most of us have, is our eyes. So no matter what I show you on the camera or with any photos, doesn't really do it justice as to how great this view is. So now I'm going to go up there and have a look at one of the towers. This is probably one of the most visited places in Budapest, so be prepared for lots of tourists. Yeah. So you can sit up there. I think you have to pay extra to get up there. You know how it is in these tourist places. Any opportunity to try to get a few quid out of you. Just next to the terrace, just over here, we've got some cafes inside. Like a restaurant where people can go dine and have a drink and eat some food whilst looking over the view of the city across into Pest. And no fairy tale, medieval style inspired terrace would be complete without a Starbucks. Just all there, and a sandwich bar. So we've just finished the Fisherman's Bastion, the old medieval fairy tale terrace, looking out onto the side of the capital city, the Pest side. You get some stunning views there. The next part I want to discuss and show, could say it's a little bit magical. Born in 1874 under the name Eric Weiss, born in Budapest, we have the escape artist Houdini. And I'm gonna go and take you into his house.
Okay, so how much it will be in forints?
9 euros or 3,000 per person, so it's in forints it would be 6,300 for the two of you.
It's only cash. Do we have cash?
The best part, but that's
Perfect,
thank you. Come here.
Thank you.
Here, just a moment. Hello.
Hi.
So we pay?
To stop recording because in the building without the written permission it's not possible to make recordings, so please stop the camera.
Yeah, okay, we'll stop that, yeah.
You can make pictures and then put it on the recording. First, and please, I would kindly ask you to stop recording.
Yeah, it's not recording. Is it turned off? So we went into the House of Houdini. It's about a 1-hour tour. The establishment is run by magician enthusiasts, real magicians, escape artists. They're all involved in it. And you go in and then you sit down and you get a magic show for about the first 15-20 minutes of the tour. The magician gets you involved in some of the tricks, card tricks, coin tricks, rope tricks, ring tricks. Really, really good. And then after that you go and do a tour where you learn about the history of Houdini. You learn about his emigration from Budapest when he was young to the United States, the jobs he did, how he got into magic, who his inspirations was. You get to see some real genuine artifacts of, you know, things that he owned when he was younger and before his death. So I would very much recommend going to it. It's very insightful. I'm sure anybody who's even got the remotest, slightest of interests in magic is go to it. So give it a go. Let me know what you think. See you later. Just on the hunt for some food now. Don't really know where we are. Bit of karaoke. It's one of those places where you get like a booth to yourself and you go in and do the karaoke. Called Bluebird. Good evening. So we're currently having dinner at this place called Steak Has. I've got myself a margarita, so it's going to be a big one tonight. And Ola has got a pina colada. We're going to try our first Palinka. So this is the staple Hungarian spirit drink in shot form, because I think it's how they drink it. Just to let you know, it smells a little bit like bimber or like a hooch. Oh, yeah, it's very, very strong. Wow. It almost tastes like a pure alcohol spirit that you strip the paint off a wall with a slight hint of an aftertaste of cherry.
It's not that bad. tastes like mouthwash.
So this whole area here is the Jewish quarter. The historical significance of the ruin bars is after World War II, lots of Jewish settlements around this area were abandoned, dilapidated, run down, and they were about to be demolished. Early 2000s, a few entrepreneurs came in and decided to set up the bar Shimpler, which is just next door to Caravan, where we are now. That set off a chain of events where lots of new businesses set up, and now we have this ruin bar culture in Budapest, which is very much ingrained as part of their nightlife scene. And this place here, called Caravan, it's not one place, there's lots of different bars here. There's a vegan place, there's ice cream place, there's a couple of these little small bars that are just set up all around. And you can get burgers, lots of other different pieces of food, so I would definitely recommend if you are here. It is a bit cheaper than going to restaurants, so it's definitely worth coming down. And maybe try a bit of Palinka as well. But it's strong, so I do warn you in advance. Speak to you soon. Speak to you soon.